Some sharing sound, yeah.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Chanchal. Shrita here.
Sorry. Very good evening to everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
This we need to remember to mute and unmute. Many times it happens. Right. And I wish all the best to all of you, including me, for the
Definitely, ma'am.
success of the day. Right.
Sure,
We will
sure.
rock. Definitely we will be at peace finally. We are in peace and finally will make the
Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, should Peace Summit 2021. I am your host for the evening, Sonali, and I welcome everybody on board over here. We have a beautiful panel of speakers lined up for all the listeners and the viewers over here. And if you are watching us from any of our social media sites, please don't forget to comment, like, share, and send in your messages. And every speaker will be sharing their own thoughts and messages. So make sure that you make the most out of it. Connect with them later on and spread the word. So before we move on to formal introductions, I would like to start off this evening with the Gayatri Mantra. Hopefully my screen is visible.
Yes.
Thank you very much for everybody's attention. So we will be moving on with today's World Peace Summit. Welcoming everybody again over here. My name is Sonali and I will be your host for this summit.
I think we have Dr. Yojana also from Berlin. Welcome, madam.
Thank you so much. I'm very delighted to be part of this forum today. Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to the World Peace Summit. So here is how we are going to move forward with the summit today. Let's have an introduction of the 3H for the benefit of everybody over here, who is our organizing party over here. So about the 3H, which is 3H Companion. 3H Companion is an organization aims at helping and guiding individuals as if answering their problems about work, life skills, and management with 3H, that is head, heart, and hand. It doesn't teach just live, its thought and the intensity change others. Love, respect, patience, good laws, and fair justice are the best instruments. It believes in working together and succeed with integrity. Develops education by empowering students, parents, and teachers socially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and professionally through workshops, sessions, and training programs, with a vision to create passion with compassion and more smiles. In 2007, it stepped with almost 50 members, those who want to learn, sing, and rock beyond books in 3 months to develop personal and spiritual skills with a mission, each one, teach one. It has now risen to thousands. Small steps of each member from different place and profession made it a big contribution in the field of humanity to create a difference in self and others' lives. With constant feedback and inspiration, socially and globally on social sites. It seems as the world is his family with connections, cultivation, and contribution. Our learning are beyond books and syllabus. We enjoy learning everywhere from games to cinema, outings, visits, and to bring smiles to them. Tiffin Talk, Rain Clap, Generator Clap are always enjoyed. All are free to showcase their talent. Learning with music, mime, and dance are used therapies. Games like Carom, Snake and Ladder are enjoyed to learn risk factors, leadership managing skills, stress, anger management, mistake, cheese boost, water drive. We enjoy the most. We prefer to connect rather than connect. Hearty welcome to all of you in this world of wonders. Can we have a round of applause, please? Now I would like to introduce the founder, Ms. Chanchal Bhargav. Ms. Chanchal Bhargava, an edu-lover, a motivational speaker, teacher, trainer, psychological counselor, blogger, and spiritual wellness coach, enjoys her passion as a communicator, helping and guiding individuals about work, life skills, and management with 3H, that is head, heart, and hand. She has worked with 500 plus people online on youth mentorship, EI, women empowerment, leadership, management skills, say no to stress, depression, and suicidal attempts, and organized various events like Education to Civilization, Ridambana, Wow, World of Wonders, Jeevan Geet, art exhibition, and many more. Udan, a career guidance project, Students Ki Pathshala, skill development, and Wings of Women, skill empowerment project are upcoming. She develops education in rural areas of Bundelkhand with an NGO. She envisages a virtual mini university for overall growth and holistic development of all individuals with human values, freedom, and creative ideology. National and international awardee, but believes getting a space or place in every heart in the best award is the best award. For her life is a Wi-Fi connection, somewhere weak, somewhere strong. The only need is to stay connected. Her articles and messages are published in some of famous magazines like Window to the Future, Wednesday Times, and Spiritual Connect Inner Reflections. She firmly believes in human empowerment and power of love to raise and rise, embracing with 3H, 3As, and 3Cs to laugh, express, raise, and march with purpose of spreading peace and happiness across the globe. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. Over to you for your message, please.
Namaste and Hare Krishna to everyone present here. It's a wonderful introduction by you, Sonali. Thank you. I'm humbled and honored to have all the people from across the globe with us, and they are all beautiful and peaceful souls, I believe. See, it is always said that if you are beautiful, then it's God gift to you. But if you make others' life beautiful, then it is your gift to God. So we all are working upon this quote that as God has gifted us this beautiful life, so now it's our chance to give something, whatever we have learned, whatever we have experienced and cultivated to the society. And what else it can be if it is peace? Why don't we live in peace? We always prefer to rest in peace. So let's give a try to live in peace as well, to appreciate each other whenever we get a chance to do so, to admire, to love with mutual respect, with a beautiful smile. And it is very, very true that peace begins with a smile. It's a quote of our Mother Teresa too, who was a peacemaker, who was the first woman, a Nobel Prize winner. So let's take this legacy to prosperity. And now, life, if we talk about, then it is said that it deals with, between birth and death. There comes C. No, between B and D, if we see, there comes C. So at the time of birth, if we find a mother is at peace by delivering a child, and a child is at peace coming to the word to see this beautiful word, the creation of God. And now, in between the life, that is the birth and the death, there comes 3 C's. That is to connect, to cultivate, and to contribute. So if we talk about the connection, so connection is very well placed if we have 3 A's. And which are these 3 A's? These 3 A's will be our acceptance, then our attempts, and our appreciation. So trust me, as soon as we accept our faults and ready to correct them, you can feel the peace. When you accept your potentials and work upon, then also you are at peace. And both these attempts will bring a definite appreciation to you. And finally, again, you will be at peace. So what I wish to say is that these 3, your accept, your this attempt, and then appreciation, these 3, if you inculcate in your life, if you have these 3 set in your life, then it will make or carve a path for cultivation, a beautiful cultivation of life. And once these are cultivated, you will be kind, you will be just, and you will be right with gratitude. And this becomes your attitude. This attitude of yours always binds you to be at peace, to give more, because more you give, more you receive. So this is your choice, what you want to choose, how you want to cultivate your life. Do you want to live at peace? Then see good in others. Be good at your deeds. See, life is always reflecting what you do, how you feel. If you have positive thoughts, if you have good thoughts and you are acting upon it, definitely it will come at your face. It reflects from your smile. So better keep smiling and create more smiles. With this, I say all of you to put your hands together or join your hands and say that we all are beautiful souls. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was quite a start to today's evening, and nobody would have done it better than you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, we would like to start off and understand why we are all here today at the World Peace Summit 2021. And I would like to hand it over to Dr. Hari to talk about the essence of the summit and the theme. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sonali. I think digital greetings to each one of you. And it is wonderful to meet today at this point of time to talk on world peace, because today is a very, very auspicious day where lakhs of people taking a holy bath in Haridwar and Rishikesh with the Kumbh Mela, the Mauni Amavasya. And on this auspicious day, when we are talking about world peace, so the wonderful concept which is brought by Madam Chanchal Bhargava, talk about rest in peace versus live in peace. So I think what a great beginning with wonderful speakers today we have in front of us. And all these speakers coming from across the world, as rightly told by Chanchal Bhargava. We have Dr. Yojana all the way from Berlin with a very, very short notice. Just 2 days back, we just connected in Facebook, but we have a lot of, connectivity where my friend Sridhar and myself, we both are friends of Ravi CR. So we are all from the same college. We are friends from last 3 decades. So that's how the connection happened. And when I went a little deeper, then we have a common thing, the pharmacy, common thing, working for pharma industries. So these all, made us today, Dr. Yojana, to be part of as a key speaker for today's event. And again, we have Dr. Manmeet Kumar, comes from Delhi, one of the leading spiritual trainer, motivator, speaker. The moment I told this is the event you have to speak, then she said, yes, I love to, part of this event. So then again, when we were having a little bit chat with Supriya, again, a common friend from last 15, 20 years, we are from the same town in Bangalore. And she referred Mr. Uma Shankar, Avatar, and the great work they are doing through a NGO based in Chennai and across the world with a wonderful, wonderful team of people. I think today we are going to hear what kind of services and what kind of help they are doing to the humankind. And I have again my friend Sridhar going to talk on one of the very innovative thing a couple of months back with Right Passion with Sonali. I think we have a great kind of a speaker, so I don't want to take much time to talk on world peace and the spirituality. I think these are the right people who are experts in this area. And today we have people, I think, from different parts of the country and a few international people. And on the behalf of both the World Peace and Vision Digital India, from all of us, we welcome to be part of this wonderful initiative to talk on the peace and humanity. So without much delay, I think, Sonali, we can start the proceedings. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll just give a round of applause to Dr. Hari over here for that wonderful, vote of thanks. Thank you so much, sir. Speaking of spirituality, I think we exactly know who our first speaker is. So we will be starting off with our spiritual coach, Manmeet Kumar, ma'am. I'm just gonna read out ma'am's wonderful and very, very impressive portfolio, and then it is the mic is all yours, ma'am. So Manmeet Kumar is a spiritual coach who founded Soul Miracles in 2016. She uses her gifts of being a psychic and a medium to enable others to transform their inner core. Manmeet had her own interesting journey throughout life. Before commencing her work as a spiritual coach, Manmeet had a successful career in sales and business development for 19 years. She had a proven record across many established corporates. It was during this time that her own spiritual development brought her great results. Manmeet is a blessed psychic. Using her abilities, she has helped law enforcement agencies, businessmen, householders, and professionals in achieving success with whatever they were doing. Manmeet is also a medium who can communicate with life beyond the physical world that you see around. With her psychic and mediumship abilities, Manmeet had always stepped up to the future to further the lives of her clients. Over the period, her spiritual engagements developed to a point where she decided to continue the journey through giving. Soul Miracles was created with the hope of developing a community and her own students to whom she could pass on the various gifts that she was discovering during her own spiritual journey. The Soul Miracles journey has started with several types of personal sessions and slowly emerged into workshops. Manmeet believed that it was not enough for people to just have guidance. It was important for people to learn the very methods that she was using to guide them so that they become spiritually sufficient to create their own guidance. Hence was born the beliefs with which Soul Miracles operate. Manmeet is training close to 1,000 people who will carry on her work in different parts of the world. Through this, she hopes to bring about a spiritual shift in the society. Welcome, ma'am. As I said, very, very impressive profile. I am dying to hear your journey, and I'm sure everybody here is as intrigued as I am. Over to you, ma'am. Stage is on.
Thank you, Sonali. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Maram. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Chanchal ji, for the lovely introduction to this summit. I'd like to thank some of my co-travelers in this journey. Thanks, Meenakshi, Sangeeta, Dr. Leena, Himanshi, Pratima, Arshi, Vatsala, Shivani, Surbhi, Meera, Uma, Ritu, Anu, and Jaspreet. So these are people who wanted to, hear all the prominent speakers, and therefore we had invited them. My journey, as you rightly spoke, has come from peace itself, saying that 19 years in the corporate world, and then suddenly discovering spiritual connect abilities as a psychic and a medium. And one of the reasons that I chose to be a spiritual coach was because our future generation is quite, I wouldn't use the word clueless, but really needs to be guided in the right way. So my topic for today is peace in adolescence. Where is it going? Why is it not there? And what can we do? I personally feel that the world is divided into light and darkness, and both play an important role. Without darkness, we would not see the light. Having said that, it's disturbing to know that 1 of every 4 people is mentally not stable. They are depressed. And having said that, when we say that they are depressed, imagine a person would only be depressed if they feel unloved and unwanted. Like Chanchal said, unappreciated. Appreciation is one of the key things that we've totally forgotten. So in this very fast-paced world, where I think giving birth is also kind of captured on social media, where you're busy putting statuses, how a mother can be peaceful while, giving birth, or, after the birth, or feeling that mentally and emotionally she's at peace, that is missing and is going missing as we move forward. So it's very, very important that the adolescents of this world as a society, the people who have to take the future generation forward, are guided by the right inspiration and the right values. So one of the things that I feel is that we as a society and as a world need to go towards light. Our unit of family is something that is getting to be dysfunctional, much as we want that it shouldn't be. Adolescents today, young teenagers and young adults are caught between 2 extremes. One extreme is the extreme of their parents, who are struggling with traditional values and how things should be, and the judgment of the society. And on the other hand, they want to be futuristic. The young adults want to be futuristic. They want to play with social media. They want to play with everything that is to do with IT and future. But we all belong to families which will say, oh, so and so will judge you for that. Don't do this. I think we are caught in the crosshairs between what is right according to the old system and what needs to be done as a society to break these limitations. And I have a couple of points to speak about, something that we can all take home, one takeaway kind of a thing. As always, in spirituality, we say that spirituality is about conscious living. It's not meditating or escaping, because we have all chosen in our pre-birth plan to have responsibilities, to have children, to have jobs, and still be spiritual, which means more aware, more connected, and more conscious of our thoughts and actions. Karma, as you all know, is not created at the level of action. It's created at the level of thought. So we need to teach these youngsters that think before you think, But what are we teaching them? Jostle for the position forward. It doesn't matter whose toes you tread on. Success is important. But today, are we all chasing success? Maybe yes. But finally, what are we all chasing? We are chasing inner peace. However much money you may have, you look at all the autobiographies of all the main, the famous people, they would say that on their dying bed, they say, we wish we had spent more time with our family, and we wish we would have had more peace. So at the level of body, mind, and soul, if we want to talk about this, at the level of body, I would say, and we have Dr. Manisha also here, who said that their organization talks a lot about yoga and about breathing and all of that. But one thing that I find that actually we also don't, but adolescents can really benefit from is the correct form of breathing. I think in schools and in educational curriculums, if we can introduce just a breathing class, how to breathe correctly, I think all of this rage, etc., would come down. Because the outer part of our brain, we all know, when it receives a lot of oxygen, the rage dies down. The reptilian response of the inner brain kind of comes down, right? But we don't teach our children to breathe. So whether it's a anulom vilom or it's a pranayam or it's a just deep breathing, charges children, charges these youngsters, and keeps them level-headed. There are no trigger responses like let's take out a gun and shoot somebody. But I think breathing is underrated in this country, and maybe we could talk about, including this in the curriculum on a formal basis. On the mental and the emotional health issue, I think one of the things that we all need to recognize is that in our families, we don't talk about emotions. If someone says that, oh, I'm not feeling so well, you'll get over it. Be positive. It's fine. You must be stressed. We don't have the time to indulge the person to ask him, why are you not well? Why are you angry? Oh, you're angry. You shouldn't be angry. Oh, you're sad. You shouldn't be sad. Because we seem to be chasing happiness as a goal. But happiness is not a goal. It is a byproduct. So encourage open conversations. In fact, see if you can have a half an hour every evening, sitting and actually just checking on people. How are you feeling today? Just wanted to check on you. How are you feeling today? And why are you feeling like this? And maybe just listen to why they are feeling like this without preaching and telling them what to do or what not to do. All the people here who are, associated with me have young children, children, and they would agree with me and tell me if I'm right. Nobody wants to be told what to do, but everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody wants to be heard. The biggest need of a human being is to be heard. It is not love. It is not money. It is not nothing. It is only to be heard. So have these conversations in your home, at your office, just checking in people saying, I'm checking in on you. How are you feeling today? And I'm telling you, those 5 minutes can really, really make a difference. At least we feel heard, right? That's on the mental and the emotional side. I think we need to have much more acceptance around mental health. And if parents are saying that I'm taking my child to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, there shouldn't be a reaction, or would you recommend so-and-so's daughter to get married? Because, I believe she used to see a psychologist or a therapist. I mean, come on. And you do know that monkey experiment where when one person changes his thoughts, 2 lakh people change simultaneously. I'm not going to be taking more time. This is close to my heart, so I can go on and on. But the mental and emotional piece is very important as a society. Even if you can be accepting of your cousins' children, your friends' children, I think that's enough. You don't need to go out in the world and, create maybe NGOs to help people. I think we get it wrong. We think that creating awareness is about creating something external that involves money or involves giving out or something like that. But maybe we just need to be in our homes and create more peace there. On the soul level, I would recommend a book. It is called The Ways of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. So in case your children haven't read this book, please make sure, and even it's a good book for us to read as well. Ways of the Peaceful Warrior. This is so imagine peaceful and warrior is used in the same sentence. Ways of the Peaceful Warrior. So this is a book I would recommend for adolescents to talk about the inner struggles that we have. At Soul Miracles, we believe in one concept, which is called spiritual sufficiency. We believe that everybody can handle their emotions and their mental health and, spiritually be content and therefore create contentment going forward. If you are a content person, then whoever you are in touch with will feel that peace, absorb that peace from you. Maybe you don't even need to do anything. The pillars of this are courage, compassion, and allowance. And this is what, we at Soul Miracles talk a lot. We talk a lot to adolescents. We talk a lot to youngsters. And one thing that I would like to say for peace is that out of courage, compassion, and allowance, I would say courage is very, very, very critical to be able to say that, look, I cannot do this, saying no, maybe drawing the right boundaries, not coming under peer pressure, and not saying no to the things that are actually harmful, like drugs, etc. And having that sufficiency within to say, even if I have to take a stand, I will take a stand. And where do these youngsters learn from? When they see their parents, when they see their parents taking a stand for something that is right. So in the end, what I would like to say is that if you have a youngster in your home, check on the body through breathing, check on their mental and emotional health, and please check on the soul health. Talk to them about courage, give them examples about compassion, talk to them about allowance and how people are different, and we still have to exist in the same world by appreciating differences, and still being on the same path. I think spiritually aware adolescents can really take us to the next level, and it is upon each one of us to create that harmony and that balance within our own homes. Thank you for this, Sonali. Thank you, Dr. Maram, and I hope you found this of value. You can let me know if you have any Q&A. Thanks.
Wonderful. I think we are in awe of everything that you spelled out. Every word is so powerful, and I can see everybody nodding. I can see the chat like blowing up. I was, everybody's very, very in sync, in tune with the kind of, thoughts you're sharing. And personally speaking, we work with adolescents and teenagers, so I could connect with you very, very well. So if anybody wants to ask any questions, you can definitely let us know in the chat, or you can unmute and ask her. We'll just have a couple of seconds. We'll give all the people over here. And I think I'll grab the first opportunity, if that's fine, ma'am. We spoke a lot about, the children and the adolescents and how they should be spiritually aware. And you spoke a lot about courage, which is a very, very important ingredient. And more so, you spoke how it comes from the parents, right? And it has to be instilled to the parents. And you also spoke about a very, very important thing, that it becomes like a big hush-hush thing when any kid has to get some help, right? So, and since we, like you said, we have a lot of parents over here, what would be your advice starting that, even I would say that parents also require help. I mean, parents are also first-time parents at least once in their lives. And when the teens get into the teenagehood, it becomes like a whole different set of a ball game together. What would you, advise?
I would advise that everybody, as parents, it's absolutely okay if you are facing issues in bringing your child up. I think there are enough and more consultants and practitioners, doctors, psychologists, coaches in the world that you can take help from. Have the courage, discuss issues, don't put them under the carpet. We all need help, right? We don't cut our own hair, however established we may be. We go to specialists. Similarly, we go to doctors who can treat us. So it is important that we realize that there is a mental health specialist, there is a mental health practitioner, there is a spiritual coach, there is a training coach. I personally believe a lot that if people are under the right coaches, we all can grow, and everyone can really excel in their life and take the right support. So I think as parents, first we have to break the myth of taking help and say that, oh my God, I know everything because I'm a parent. So I think it starts from there, from a humble approach and from an asking approach.
Beautiful, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your thought. And can we all give ma'am a round of applause, please? Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. That was such a wonderful and power-packed session. So we will be moving on to our next speaker, who is the keynote speaker for this event. Like every other speaker over here, we have a very, very established panelist of speakers, and I had the toughest time picking out, a gist of the speaker introduction, so I don't cover everything and I give the speaker enough chance to speak. And much like that, Dr. Yojna Shah Jain, who is the keynote speaker of today, had done so many things that it was very, very difficult for me to pick and choose. So I'm going to just give a gist of, what has ma'am achieved, and then I'm going to hand over the mic to ma'am to continue, her message. So Dr. Yojana Shah Jain, who is the keynote speaker for today, is a corporate leader, critically acclaimed, published writer, sought after speaker, poetess at international forums, and host for a TV talk show. Part of leadership and advisory board of many scientific and social organizations, like founder and CEO at HealthPrax, a healthcare technology company, President Germany Healthcare Experts Council of the Global Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GCCI, founder of a literary group, Literary Intellects and Poets of Indian Origin, LIPI, in Germany, regional president, Europe for Poetry and Literary Group International, PLG, Germany head for Global Hindu Sahitya Sanatan India, honorary member of Japan, Hindu Culture Center in Japan, vice president of a Germany-based cultural society, and advisory board member for 10 News Digital Network. So if you think this was enough, I kid you not, it wasn't. There are so many things that I can say, but I think we would like to hear from ma'am. Over to you, ma'am. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Very good evening to all of you here in Berlin. It's 2 o'clock, 2:06 right now. It's just 3.5 hours difference. So you are just enjoying the evening tea time probably, and we just finished our lunch. So we are on the same planet Earth. And thanks a lot for the generous introduction. I know I'm indulged into several activities, but definitely my focus is mostly on the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare organization, and the poetry and the writing stuff that I do. I want to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Krishnan for inviting me as a keynote speaker today on this very nice platform. I'm here for the first time, but I must say that you all are doing a commendable job. Congratulations and best wishes to Bhargava ji and Dr. Krishnan and everybody else here, whoever is attached with this forum, for continuously doing impactful work. I'm not very well versed about the programs that this organization, this platform is doing at the moment. But what I liked, the communication that was shared with me by Dr. Krishnan, it read, "Dear Peacemakers." And it was about the summit, World Peace Summit, and it really made me interested to participate because, when there can be armies to kill and destroy, why can't there be an army of peacemakers? This is something that is absolutely necessary in today's time. So I think this is a great job you guys are trying to do here. So peace have different dimensions, and just now the earlier speaker, she spoke, she gave very good insights, ideas, specific pointers about inner peace. I'm going to take it to a little bit macro level. And when I was thinking about, World Peace Summit and as a keynote speaker, what can I talk about? So the first thing that came to my mind was war, isn't it? So first of all, when we talk about peace, yeah. So the big question is any country in the world, whether it is developed, developing, or whatever, alone capable of dealing with the mammoth risk the whole mankind is facing today? Corona pandemic is the biggest example. Yeah, what to say about global warming and environmental degradation? Yeah. So even if we have made boundaries and divided the world in the name of countries, continents, and all, at the end, when nature hits back, we are all the same. We share the same planet. So I have a personal view that patriotism is good, but then there is a very thin line difference between patriotism and humanism. So is world peace possible? Are there alternatives to war, conflict, and violence? Why, as humans, we indulge and always have, indulged and progressed on the path of destruction, war, violence? Can there be alternatives to satiate the human hunger for power, money, and control that may have better outcomes for the greater good? Yes, there is. There is, because global affairs are not a zero-sum game. There can be better alternatives to war and violence. To progress, we need not to play by the rules of Jungle Raj. Indeed, it is possible to get benefited through cooperation, fairness, and peaceful relations. So path of peace actually leads to the path of justice as well. So what we have to do is to actually, create this army of peacemakers, develop the peace advocates, promote them, and thereby innovate the peaceful and collaborative solutions to complex issues, be it human rights or environmental issues or land disputes, to name a few. So as we all know that, war is the biggest and acute most danger for the world peace. And even today in the 20th century, 21st century, so many countries like Syria, Congo, Palestine, Sudan, they are undergoing war. I know in Berlin, I have a few friends who have fled from that country and are here now trying to, get a better life. So it's really like, the poverty, underdevelopment, and human misery are all caused by war. Children are denied access to education, and the families are prevented from access to even food and water that leads to hunger around the world. If we look at some research, the Institute of Economic and Peace in 2018, it says that the wars around the world costed the global economy approximately 14.76 trillion US dollar. And this is a huge figure. This equates to 12.4% of global GDP and 1988 dollar per individual. So this number not only represents a substantial economic cost to the society, but it also reflects significant harm to society's fabric, people's well-being, and opportunities for prosperity. So right now in India, we are not going through any kind of war, but why I want to bring this issue, because we are global citizens today. Even with whatever part of the world we are sitting, we have the power, and I will talk about it in a while. We have the power to, make some difference to when it comes to ensuring and contributing to global peace worldwide. So these factors, contribute to the vicious cycle of abuse and poverty. And I personally believe that we can only achieve true prosperity for all through justice, reconciliation, and peace. As Hazel Healy wrote somewhere, that the pressures on our world are serious and expected to grow, and humankind may ditch the military habit and tackle conflict at its roots. Isn't it true? Now, apart from war, I think the biggest social evil giving rise to inequality and ultimately hatred and violence is hate politics. Evidence shows that violence occurs in areas where people don't trust the government or authorities or don't have access to justice, where corrupt elites steal the common man's chance of a decent life. And any peacemaker, therefore, would advocate that governments around the world must avoid neglecting, abusing, and stigmatizing their own people and stop playing the hate politics in the name of gender, caste, religion, or whatever. This them and us mentality must be discouraged at all costs if we talk about, bringing world peace. And I'm saying it very aloud in this forum today, as this is a World Peace Summit. Next comes gender inequality. So according to the research in Valerie Hudson's Sex and World Peace, the greater a country's gender gap, the more likely it is to be involved in violent conflict. On the contrary, women's participation in peace processes, on the other hand, increases the likelihood of lasting peace. There are so many other factors. I would like to highlight global warming as well, because it has been shown to intensify conflicts over natural resources like land and water. especially in Africa. And so the United Nations Climate Agreement shows that the cooperation rather than conflict can be used to address and mitigate crisis. Just 2 days back, I had a discussion, very nice discussion with India's ambassador to United Nations, Geneva, Switzerland. He's posted there. He's a very senior Indian Foreign Service official. And yeah, we had a very good discussion around the role of ambassadors, the India in United Nations and such organizations. So they are like diplomats representing the country and trying to make sure that our interests are in the agenda items and focus when it comes to such, international organizations. Now, what else can be done to ensure peace? Very obvious. Control arms sales. Very few people talk about it because that's the most logical solution. But as I said earlier, patriotism can and should not justify war and violence. But as we know, in the quest of power, arms sales are promoted and large sums of money are spent on military capabilities across the world. Arms proliferation actually fuels tension and increases the likelihood of aggression. So peacemakers and peacemaking organizations, if you look at the agendas of any peacemaking organizations, this disarmament is one of the major agenda items that they are, pushing towards. And I think we should definitely, there should be a rally support for a game-changing new treaty that prohibits the possession and use of weapons, especially the nuclear weapons. Now, there are many other ways, specific action items, but one thing for sure that they are driven by political will at the top. So how will change happen? Can this happen? I think so, yes, it is possible to make it happen because even the word impossible says I am possible, right? So I think this will happen when there will be a big army of peacemakers like us and many others who would be joining you guys and all the international peace organizations who are working on peacemaking and making the peacemakers from the grassroots level, from the inner level, individual level to a society level to a world level, will drive this agenda so hard that the governments understand, that they can't fool people in the name of patriotism, religion, or anything like that. Besides, rather than short-term anti-war movements, there should be long-term peace campaigns. Peace should be woven in social movements and become part of people's way of life. And there was an elaborate discussion on this and how to do that just before I took on the mic. So since I am heading a technology company, so I want to touch on an interesting aspect in peacemaking campaign, that is role of technology. So as we know that dialogue, facilitation, and mediation are the cornerstones of peace building. Yeah, I hope you all agree. And today, as technology advances at breakneck speed, it has profoundly altered how conflicts evolve and play out, as well as how peacemakers deter and reduce aggression. Individuals are now enabled by technology to have a say in foreign affairs and to engage with people on topics of convergence in real time. Even if our country is in peacetime, as a peacemaker, we can definitely be part of international organizations and raise our voice to ensure that the world, wherever there's a war or violence, we can work towards bringing peace by making our own contribution, by at least raising our voice. And that is enabled today by means of technology and social media forums. So the role of non-state actors in conflict and peace building has been democratized in a way. And thanks to the rapid innovation, especially in information communications technology, from Facebook to WhatsApp, information and communication technology, it lets people communicate across boundaries and understand new viewpoints, making it effective resources for peace builders. So there is a reason to be hopeful for those working to resolve conflicts and create peace, that technology now offers these resources and forums to reach people all over the world. That may be probably a reason that some authoritarian governments have responded with harsh measures to control its use. For example, the Chinese government has imposed severe restrictions on what its people are allowed to do online. Iran's judiciary recently banned Telegram, which is a common messaging app used by locals to communicate securely. So that is the positive side, but there is always a flip and flop side of the same coin. And so it's not that technology has always been used for peacemaking. Several times it has been abused, misused to spread hate speeches and fake news. So as an individual, it becomes a responsibility to to make sure before forwarding any information. This is a very specific action we can take at our end, that we become the peacemakers, but be conscious that we don't spread knowingly, unknowingly hatred in the name of whatsoever, and make sure that we are making the right use of this very, very strong and powerful tool in today's world. So, so resolving the conflict and peace, long-term peace, it definitely necessitates a multifaceted approach involving nations, residents, and technology. And people play a very, very important role than ever before because of the modern technology. So this is actually now, it is no longer a game that governments used to control. It is something that everybody can participate in right now. So I think I have spent a lot of time in the macro levels, but at the end, it all starts within. So I would like to conclude my speech by shifting the focus from external strategies for world peace to strategies for inner peace, because it all begins within us. The peace starts within us. The ordinary people have the ability to make a difference. When was the last time you apologized or stopped considering who loses if you win? Or think about that, are the people in your life noticed and remembered, or are they neglected and forgotten? Ponder over the matter that when was the last time that you started a conversation, a productive conversation with someone you disagreed? Yeah. So all of us have the option of making society more just and peaceful, or more unjust and warlike. So let's start the peace journey from within us, because really the journey of making a peaceful world starts from making a peaceful us. This starts at our home, at our elementary education level. As we grow up and become believers of any religion or citizens of any country, because if we develop the empathy within us for others, and also teach our children the same, make them aware of the global problems and how their actions may affect others' lives, I think I'm sure indeed that we will make more content, more peaceful individuals, and thereon a peaceful world together. So with this, I will thank again this forum for letting me speak and express my views and giving me this platform. Thank you so much. I'm eager to hear rest other speakers as well. Thank you. Thank you, Sonali.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Can we have a round of applause for that wonderful, in-depth, I think macro, micro, you have covered all aspects in which an individual, a country, a professional, and every, person living has the ability to, spread peace. But I think what I take away from your speech is a big word that is called responsibility, even if it means that, representing a country in a big forum, or even if it means verifying a forwarded WhatsApp message. I think we all have a responsibility. Absolutely. And if use that judiciously, we can all make a small difference in this big ocean. Thank you so Absolutely. Much, ma'am. We really appreciate you being
Pleasure is mine. Thank you.
So we will be
the,
asking. Yes,
yeah, I'll
yes,
just take a few seconds.
sure.
On the behalf of all of us, we welcome Dr. S.K. Prasad. Dr. S.K. Prasad is a senior professor from Reva University, very good friend of mine, worked in All India Council of Technical Education, worked for some of the leading educational institutions across the country. So I welcome Dr. S.K. Prasad for this event. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir. We're really, really honored to have you on board with us over here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I can see that Amit has raised his hand. Amit, do you have a question that you would like to ask one of our speakers over here? You can unmute and ask. Okay.
Hello, can I
Yes.
ask a question?
Yes, please.
Okay, guten Tag, Frau Jan. I also live in Berlin, and it was nice to hear you about all the things that you've done. A bit of a background, I come from a diplomat's family, so I've traveled all over the world. I have worked in the UN, especially with the ambassadors and a lot of issues. I've worked in India, I've worked in Africa, I've worked in Europe. And a lot of the issues that you touched upon, I deal with this every day. My wife works for the OSCE, which is the Organization of Security Council of Europe. So all these issues are discussed on a daily basis.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so, and I live in Berlin as well. At the moment, I'm in Delhi. My question is this, it's very good to talk about peace and how to bring about peace and how to, in forums or raising awareness, etc. In my life, in my experience, what I found was that these are just forums, and in the end, nothing much really happens, because what happens? You will bring in the ambassadors, you'll bring in even the presidents. I brought in Ricky Martin to forums and stuff like this. And we signed declarations, we made declarations. And then these declarations are made and they're talked about, money is raised, etc. And we make policies. And that's the maximum we do. But the reality is, so I was waiting for you to actually give me that in-depth thing. And then you said, okay, so we talked at the macro level. Now let's talk about the real thing, the inner thing. And I got excited because I was thinking, okay, no, why is nobody talking about the inner thing? And there again, I have to say one thing. I think we've missed it, because when you talk about peace, it is not about making peace. It's like when people talk about meditation and they say, oh, I'm going to meditate and I am meditating. That's totally wrong, because meditation is a state that you achieve, that you reach. It's a state of being. Similarly, when we talk about peace, it has to come from inside. And it's not about the schools and the education. It is not about conflicts, with external, etc. But it is actually, when we think about it, it's more about, okay, am I okay? We have conflicts within ourselves. And because we have conflicts within ourselves, our balance shifts left to right or whatever. And we are not able to be in equilibrium. And that is the piece that we should all actually, the whole society should be talking about. And when I went to Berlin 5 years ago, I found that I became more Hindu, I became more Indian by being in Berlin, because in Berlin, people have gone through wars and they've gone through a very traumatic time because their parents or their or their grandparents were part of the Nazi regime, etc. So they wanted to, say, okay, who the hell am I? And that's where actually peace starts. What am I? Who am I? And what is it that I want to achieve? So you have you have a situation where if you go to Italy, if you go to Germany, people are not running after money. They're not running after buying a new car. They're not running after, material things. But they just say, okay, fine, I have this life. I want friends. I want to be able to enjoy time. And I want something for my own soul. And this is something that I really, really miss in India. And I see that a place that the world says is the birthplace or the mother of soul in a way, and peace and thinking. I don't find that here. And this, I think we have to inculcate in the children, but also in ourselves. It's a, we ourselves don't know what we want. So how do you promote that to your children? We say, okay, fine, I've got this house now, I've got this car, but my son and my daughter must have a bigger thing. Instead of saying, okay, so find your happiness. Peace comes with happiness. Peace comes from within in a very, very small thing. Peace doesn't require big action. It requires a very small action of, knowing that there are differences, and that is the way it is. It's about celebrating the differences that you see, that you don't see, but allowing, to allow the differences. That's my 2 cents. Sorry to take up so much time. Thank you.
So if you may, I think I will, in my turn, perhaps I may be able to address some of the concerns that Amit has mentioned, and I can really understand from where he is coming from. And I work in the space of internal peace, Amit, and a lot of points that you mentioned are very, very valid. So I will take I hope that I can perhaps address on that point when I get my turn. So thank you for asking that question. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit.
Yeah, thank you, Amit, for building on what I said. This is something this is a topic on which we can have hours and hours, days and days of discussions. So it's more about realizing the different facets and how the peace can be brought. It's very complex issue, which we are more and more we are discussing it. It comes down to the fact that at the end, it is all from the inside. And when an individual becomes peaceful, he's happy with the surroundings, it leads definitely to a better community. Yeah. So thanks for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. And welcome, Dr. Samir. Dr. Samir runs a group of institutions from Chandigarh. He's an educationist and into healthcare, into management. So thank you, Samir, for joining this webinar. Thank you.
Welcome, Dr. Samir. And again, Amit, thank you so much for putting across your thoughts. It's always wonderful to have a active audience, and definitely, like Mr. Sridhar has mentioned, during his speech, he will be addressing some of your pointers. So please be patient with us and stick around. So now let us move on with our next speaker on the agenda. And like all the other renowned speakers, Mr. Umashankar also has quite a portfolio, and he did not make my work easy at all. So I'm going to formally introduce Umashankar sir, and then he can definitely take it forward. So welcoming Mr. Umashankar Kandaswamy, who is the trustee of Avatar Human Capital Trust. Umashankar has over 25 years of experience in recruitment consulting. He's a prolific headhunter with over 3,500 closures in his career, comprising of top management, senior management, and reporting to board positions. Umashankar is a trustee in Avatar Human Capital Trust, AHCT, which is a not-for-profit public charitable organization working in the field of economic empowerment of women. They have been addressing gender equality, poverty eradication, and inclusive economic growth for women across the state of Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry over the past 8 years. Project Putri is India's first ever developmental project that seeks to create career intentionality among underprivileged girls students. They currently have more than 6,000 girls in their network and guiding them to be career intentional. Every year, Umashankar has a personal goal. He's been training a young generation in the path of leadership and has been invited by many colleges to be the chief guest to address the young graduates and postgraduates. His passion for people is equaled only by his passion for music and cricket. Umashankar is a great singer and a fast bowler. Welcome on board, sir. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sonali, for those kind words. And I would like to thank Supriya and Dr. Maram and Chanchal Bhargava for giving this opportunity for us to extend our thoughts to these beautiful summit that you have designed, and really happy to be part of it. So straight into the game, we are talking about a different kind of peace here. How I can achieve a peace, because when we did a research about education for the girls around India. Within India, the girls who are studying in corporation schools and government schools. After the research, for 2 days, I couldn't sleep because the results which throws up like this. There are about 99% of the girls do not pursue their tertiary education and they drop out of schools. Just only 1% of girls are getting into the next level of education. So that's when we felt we should do something about it. And that's when Putri was born. Putri means daughter. So, that's how the entire story goes. I have a presentation, which if I may, quickly share it. It's a very brief presentation.
Sure. Yes.
So you're able to see my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the confirmation. So, Project Putri. So what is Project Putri? Putri means daughter. Our intention is to make sure every girl who is studying who are part of the underprivileged community, at least 10,000 of them should intentionally study and move every year. That's the whole idea where we started doing this. Dr. Soundarya Rajesh is the managing trustee and who has been a gender champion in India. She's a subject matter expert in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And she had got many awards internationally and in India. And we both of us started the journey of Avatar way back in 2000. The last 2 decades that we've been working in the field of diversity, equity, and inclusion. What does the research say about girls who are studying in the corporation school? Only 12% of them of corporation school girls break out of poverty, of which 80% they need to have a mentor, they need to have a career coach, they need to have a role model. So based on this, we set up our entire Putri project the way I'm going to be describing to you. What was Putri? Basically, these are the people who are from the underprivileged family, studying in corporation school, government school. And do you know why do they come to school? Again, we did a research and found out what is the attraction for them. First is to utilize the restroom because they don't have one at home. Number 2, to have a midday meal. Number 3, to have education. Education has become the third lucrative opportunity for them. But yes, this is the state of our own daughters who are in India. What is our vision? Now we know what is the problem statement that we've made. How are we going to make it better? Our vision for Project Putri is we need to make sure they study intentionally and get into corporate work and be in the knowledge working economy and contribute to the India's GDP. That's the goal that we are working towards now. What have we done with our objectives? Our objective is very clear. We want to make 10,000 girls every year moving into the tertiary education. From there, they should move to the college and then get a white collar job. That's the whole idea. So how we have achieved this? It's a 5-year program. We start from 8th standard to 12th standard. We operate about 40 different skills on them. It has about 8 dimensions. We have created a 3 pillar of change, which is the role of a mentor, role model, and career coach. And every year, we do over 30 hours of training on them. These are the dimensions of transformation that we look at. Hygiene is very, very important for them. Financial acumen, nutrition, entrepreneurship, analytics, self-defense, digital literacy, health. these are the transformations that we want to look at them. And let me tell you, we run this in the local lingo as well, everywhere that we are planning to do, so that it gets into the blood and they imbibe all our learnings to them. Who is a mentor? A mentor is a person who has some experience and who's basically a trainer who teaches them about the bright futures and about all the 40 different skills. Who is a role model? A role model is a person, like any colleges, if somebody has graduated, they are the role models for our putris. Career coach are the people who are from the industry, who come and exchange their thoughts and make sure they are aware of what is happening in the industry. We also run something called the Udyog Utsav. It's a one-day program. It's a conference. This is the first time it is a conference for our putris. Imagine 8th standard to 12th standard students attending a conference and also learning something new. Then meeting, the second phase of the program would be to getting into the meeting with a lot of colleges. They put up their stalls so that they understand what are the different avenues that they can learn from them. And then when they come out, there will be corporates. The third session will be corporates who will tell them, I'm a person who studied from a different kind of environment. Now I'm in this position, but if you study, then only you can be like me. So it's a more of a, what has happened in everybody's life. That is how we've been doing Udyog Utsav for the past from 2018 to 2012, 21, sorry. So what are we planning to do? What are we going to be making an impact? By 2025, India is able to achieve gender parity at the workplace. The additional GDP is set to go up by 2.9 trillion USD, which is 1.5 times more than the present numbers. Therefore, educating more girls and encouraging them to join the workforce will directly contribute to the Indian GDP. This is what we are trying to achieve. And the milestone that we have achieved is the total beneficiaries more than 5,000 girls in our journey. There are about more than 250 volunteers, and we have crossed more than 8,500 hours of volunteer training. So how we could help Project Putri? You can become a mentor or a role model or a career coach. You can join any of our teams. It can be content writing, PR, fundraising, anything that you'd like to do for yourself. If you're interested, we'll be happy to take it. And we want more people to join our, journey. At Avatar, what do? This is just the, from the trust that we do. At a corporate level, we also have a different aim, which is, there are women who have taken a break in career. After certain amount of period of time, when they get into maternity, there is no way that they can get back into career. That is when we created a forum called myavatar.com, which is a free portal where anybody can join in. And we are trying to give them a job. In the last about more than 15 years, we have given them 70,000 women have been given an opportunity. And we don't advertise heavily, but currently we have about more than 4.5 lakh women in our network. So we have created varieties of programs for all the corporates, be it leadership program, be it a training program for them. And we also create audit and assessments. We provide recruitment ability. We also have conferences. So ultimately, we are trying to work in 3 different areas. One is the top level where we are creating more women CEOs, and the middle level where we are bringing in more amount of women who have taken a break in career and putting them back into the education environment. And third is girls who are struggling to come up in life. We're making sure they are enlightened and getting into the next level through our Project Putri. So thanks for the opportunity. And if there is any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, let's have a round of applause for Umashankar, sir, for the wonderful presentation. I can right off the bat see your brand. You have nailed your branding. I see that Project Putri has the purple theme and you're wearing that purple shirt. I don't know whether that's by intention or coincidentally. Yes, there you go. Well, I think we're all awed by the beautiful presentation and more so the numbers that you have spoken about. a lot of people have, wishes and wants to do certain things, but it's always about the output. And clearly you have shown us that you have created an impact and will continue to do so. You have all our support, and we're honored by your presence today over here. The forum is open for any questions. The chat is also open. If anybody would like to ask anything, you can go ahead. But other than that, I think commendable work, and thank you so much for being with us today on this forum.
Thank you, Sonali. Thank you, Mr. Maram. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks, Supriya, once again.
Absolutely. Okay. So thank you so much, everybody, for being over here. We will be moving on to our final speaker of this event, who also happens to be my co-founder and business partner. So as you can see, I am not at all being partial. Okay. So I'm going to quickly introduce him and then hand over the mic to him. So Sridhar Palia is Technology Director at Vision Digital India and founder coach at speedclub.in, India's first emotional gym for teens and 20s. A natural coach at heart, Sridhar Palia wore many hats in corporate and teaching areas. With over 2 decades of experience in IT, working in Asia, Europe, and America for marquee clients across various industry segments, he brings in diverse management experience. While he comes with a master's in information technology degree, over 2 decades of experience in corporate life, his true calling is in inspiring young adults in their formative years to achieve their best potential. This desire drew him to take a break from his corporate career and set up Lynchpin Life Academy, a certified life coach, NLP practitioner, certified in psychology from Yale. He blends his experience to coach teenagers and 20s on emotional, social, and mental well-being. Well, without further ado, the stage is all yours.
Hey, thanks, Sonali. So first of all, my gratitude to Ms. Chanchal Bhargava, Director and Founder 3H Companion, for this wonderful initiative. Very relevant, actually, ma'am. And it's a need of the hour. So I'm also grateful to Dr. Hari Krishna Maran, Chairman Vision Digital India, and a very good friend. As he earlier mentioned, we've been friends for the last 3 decades. We studied in the same college. So glad to have him always with him, and I'm part of, obviously, his organization, and he does mentor the organization that we have initiated, which I'm going to tell in a while. Greetings to all my panelists and the audience, and thanks for being here. Well, I think a lot of been spoken earlier, and this is one of the negative that we tend to get a last very little time when we come to towards the end. But I'm glad Sonali, who is my co-founder, and she in fact is my mentor in a way. We do a co-mentoring to each other. She's just a teen past 20s, okay, and she's as old as my experience, so to speak, and then half my age, but double my maturity, and an amazing individual and a wonderful coach. Pity, Sonali, you're not able to get this opportunity to speak, and I'll speak on your behalf, right? So today's theme, as I said, live in peace instead of rest in peace. I think it's very relevant. And obviously, some of the questions that have come up is, we tend to do a lot of talk, but actions may not happen. Having said that, it doesn't take away the fact that we need to raise the awareness. So whatever we can do and whatever conversation that we have, it only leads or tends towards the desired goal, which is live in peace. And peace comes in various forms. Okay. So to me, if you look at it, what is peace? Is it's minimizing the frequency and intensity of conflicts, both within and at the outside. So some of the speakers spoke about the macro level. Okay. But for me, it's more of a micro level. And we also saw a lot of times when you talk about peace, it's about the global challenges that we are facing. I'm not such a great person. I look at action. There are a lot of thinkers. There are way too many thinkers in this world. So there's a very little doers. That's what I believe. So this actually led me to quit my corporate job, which is a well-paying corporate job. When people laughed at me for what I'm doing, it was my conscious decision that I moved out to do something at the grassroots levels. Okay, so with that vision, we started what is called as a Speed Club. And thanks to Dr. Harikrishna Maram's mentoring, this is the Vision Digital India's dream initiative that we started Speed Club. And Speed stands for School for Personal Excellence Through Emotional Development. And the premise or the spirit behind starting this is the peace starts from within. When we are in harmony, we are able to spread the same thing out. It's our, the peace that is within. It's our reflection, it's our filters, it's our beliefs that actually manifest in the society. So how should it actually start? Well, it actually should start from within, right? When we say within, it should start from our education. It should start from our school. It should start from our nurturing. So at Speed Club, what we do is we work on these essential pillars of emotional foundation. Now, when you look at it, okay, we work on these two important things, let's say social and emotional learning and character education. Unfortunately, today, most of the education institutions, the belief of learning and development is merely academics. And the true character education and social emotional learning is marginalized for various reasons, whether it could be lack of spirit, lack of will, or lack of urgency, or structural limitations. The social and emotional learning is marginalized. That is the reason, the outcome today we are seeing is lack of peace in the world, right? If you look at it, India stands in the recent, ranking. We stand at about dismal 139 rank in the World Happiness Index when it compares to, out of the 144 or 150 odd countries. So where does it originate? It is because we have not cultivated a habit of learning, setting a strong emotional foundation during the school days. And people ask me, when I say, how do you teach happiness? Okay, how do you teach peace? No, you don't teach peace. You nurture the core elements of emotional foundation. It starts with, let's say, aspects such as empathy. Okay, we don't take time, we don't teach them in the schools, unfortunately. Okay, we need to nurture them. What about the empathy? What about conflict resolution? We do not know. We carry a lot of baggage within us, right? Rumination, right? We have resentment. And no wonder using the same filters, we go out and interpret the same information that is going to come up. Like earlier, I think Sonali mentioned that, we have to be very careful from the forwarded messages, for example. Today, social media, the content that is digital content is extremely powerful. As much as good it can do, there is also it's very dangerous. And I choose to consume the content based on my already existing beliefs. I try and validate my understanding, my belief system, and filter the information that is only relevant to me. And this is happening because during the formative years of schools, there is absolutely no control or no wisdom set in during that time, or to set the perspectives for the adolescents, okay, in the content that they're actually consuming. The days were not like what used to be in the 2 to 3 decades back. Today, the information is overloaded. Okay, children are exposed to much more information. So the way we learned 2 to 3 decades back is no more relevant now. So the way we do the conscious parenting, we also need to do conscious teaching. Okay, it's unfortunate that to see that a lot of times, it's academics is merely information dump, rather than inspiring them, making them curious, making them understand on the fundamental aspects of learning and education. Okay, I mean, there are so much of statistics, and sometimes it is very unhappy to see that. In fact, one of the recent review by or survey by Ashom, okay, and the British think tank, which shows that 42.6% of Indian corporate employees are facing some form of stress or anxiety or depression, which requires an intervention, active intervention. which means it is safe to say every other person in the, I see left and right in my organization, they are undergoing through some stress. And this generation of stressful parents are trying to parent their children to be happy in the 21st century. And that's what really worries. And so if you look at it, the children are a byproduct of the environment they are thrown in. And B.F. Skinner's behaviorism you take, or you take any of the leading psychologists, Sigmund Freud, all of these things, it's the nature and the nurture. And we're conveniently ignoring them, which is what is the reason for our organization, where we want to coach and mentor the teenagers on the fundamental aspects of life, which is emotional foundation. And we don't teach morals. We don't say what is good, what is bad, global warming, and nothing of that sort. What we do is we challenge them on their core belief systems. We bring out the unspoken objections, help them look at things in multiple directions before they make their judgments. We help them to look into of not just me or me, but beyond us in terms of social awareness and social inclusion and social activeness. We help them to understand what their core emotion is. We help them understand what their self-awareness is. Okay, we help them try to give them a blueprint so that they know how to solve the problems beyond the regular what they are trying to face. And if we are able to do that bit to them and make them a little bit more self-regulated, make them more emotionally balanced, mentally stable, and socially active, I think we have done our job. Academics is merely a byproduct. If a child is self-regulated, he or she can go on Google and find out the information for himself. We don't need to dump their information. We are not looking at the essential ingredients of learnability, willingness to learn, willingness to adapt, openness, okay, or all of these fundamental elements. So our work and in our Speed Club, we are trying to do one person at a time. This is not preaching. We work on coaching and transforming each one individual at a time. And that's how the genesis of Speed Club, has been. And we were looking at how do we make a credible change rather than doing a mass preaching like some of the educational, apps do, for instance. So we are a group of counselors and psychologists. I'm in fact a technologist turned psychologist to work on these things. So instead of waiting late enough for a medical intervention by a counselor or psychologist, we preempt the need for their medical intervention and use all the psychological therapies in a very proactive way. And I think if we are able to do this, and every education institution start nurturing in terms of their emotional well-being, okay, a lot of change can happen from within, and that contributes significantly towards their individual peace, which is just reflects into the societal piece. So with that, I will just address the question that Amit earlier posed, where he mentioned there is a lot of talk that happens, and I can sympathize. And I myself was a little bit upset some time back. Okay, and in fact, I took the plunge, based on the saying from Mahatma Gandhi, be the change that you would want to see, and took the plunge and did what I can do and what I can influence. So our organization do not talk about the global numbers and figures. We want to look at what can we do within our space of impact. And if I have done 10 people who change their 10 other people and vice versa, it's going to be exponential. So we also have started offering coaching and free coaching and mentoring for the teachers. So they get blended, they blend the emotional and social learning within their academic coaching and so on and so forth. So this is largely what we're trying to do, but we have to do at the ground level. But Amit, it doesn't take away the fact that we should still make a conversation at the macro level. So fair enough, Amit. Did I answer your question, or Yes, Amit, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me? That's me, by the way. No, you have not answered my question. You see, I speak very passionately, so don't mind. I am passionate about this topic. You have talked about, in my view, making an individual, a student, or let's say a youth, being aware of themselves more than talking about peace, okay, which is actually a very, very, I would say, an important step, okay, in finding the peace. So what you're doing is you're basically making the individual realize who he or she is, what are the core strengths, weaknesses, and what is the core of this particular individual. But if this forum is about finding world peace, how do you actually help this individual to be peaceful or to find the peace? You see, if you are not at peace, it doesn't matter. You may be whatever you are at your core, might be at a balance, but again, but I understand what you were saying earlier, and I understand what you said now, and it is a very big, I won't say very big, I'll take that back, but it is a very important step, you know, by being aware of who I am as an individual and what I have within me. And that is a very important aspect, because a lot of us, we go around like a herd of sheep, and we don't know who we really are ourselves. And I think when we talk about peace, there has to be much more than just this. And I think Dr. Jan, was it, who spoke earlier, she had some elements when she talked about at the micro level, you know, and of course, then how that translates into a macro level, you know, and then talking about all these various aspects. But when we talk about peace, you know, we really need to understand, we really need to define what do we mean by peace. Peace is not conflict resolution, okay? And this is what we always talk about, conflict resolution, or, okay, there is no conflict, and that is not peace. You know, happiness is not unsadness in a way. Happiness is something very different. Sadness or unsadness, which doesn't exist, this word, is something different. Similarly, peace is something very different from, you know, no conflict.
Can I, Yoshna here? So, may I just interrupt you for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Amitji. Yeah. So I think whatever, you know, perspectives we are talking about, it very much depends on where we are and what level of peace we are talking about. It's one way, it's a very simple word, but one way it's so complex that it has so many layers to it. So think about a country which is going through a civil war or has been attacked by any other country, and the people are living in, you know, in such a state which we can't even imagine, are in the living in a state war country. For them, having a war-free time is something that is most relevant to them. A day which they are not worried about their survival, that a bomb will hit them and the whole house will be gone, and, you know, when their children can go to school and you can have a normal life. I think they will be just worried about that level of peace, you know, not about spiritual peace. Sorry, I mean, that is equally important. So that's why it's a complex issue. And I would say, again, there is no matter of making conflict over the matter of peace. Yeah. So whatever, it's about being harmony with ourselves, that we feel happy in doing what we do, and that will happen when we enjoy what we are doing. And that's why we are seeing Sridharji here and many of the people who, you know, found their calling and then they set their own path. So I think, yeah, it's I agree with all the points. He has built up very well with all the examples that Amitji just made. But then how we resolve and how we find peace is something that depends on what level of peace we are seeking for. Is it just becoming a war-free country, or improving the harmony among the communities, or becoming more, you know, happy within ourselves? Yeah, so the tools and instruments will also differ based on what we are talking about.
Absolutely.
Sonali ma'am, I just take 1 or 2 minutes here. Like
Please.
I heard ma'am said, it's very rightly said that it's a piece differs, the level differs. And what Amit ji said, that was really counted, that what is peace actually? It's not like only happiness or just love, but yes, if it can be contentment, if we are contented, then we can feel that peace within. And that contentment, if we can see, we have just now heard many of our speakers, and I congratulate each one of us. Each one of us, I'm saying, because it is again starting from appreciation to yourself and to others. And I have already, I think, shared that it is acceptance, that if we accept our potential, whether it is our fault or our potentials or our strengths, and we work upon it, definitely and surely, when we believe, when we trust in even our failures, and we are ready to correct and then move on, it will bring peace. Even failure can bring peace when you are ready to accept and you appreciate yourself that yes, you are here to correct it. So that can be another contentment to you. And Sir Uma Shankar ji, he's doing a great job uplifting the women and empowering them. But may I request that why not we make it human empowerment? It's not only women, but the men sector also needs that empower. So we need to empower human and make it human empowerment as well. Another thing is like Sir Sridhar said about emotional balancing, really counted a lot, because emotions, if we think, they are energy to drive you in certain motion. And if you are really driven to a balanced motion, so no accident can meet you, or you cannot meet an accident. You will be successfully reaching your destination. And today I'm glad that we all discussed and reach to our destination of peace, because all were smiling, all have cheers. And even Amit ji, he came and he very well put up all his insights, and maybe we able to answer him, or we are not able to answer him, but then too I am definite that he would be having a smile on his face, and that will definitely give you peace, Sir Amit. Please be with us, and we would like to learn from you. Share your insights. We will provide you the email, and that would be a great one that we will learn from each other, and that again is a peace. Thank you, Sonali. And before you say vote of thanks, let's clap for ourselves, for each other, as well as for the audience who are patiently listening to us for hours. Thank you. Great.
So thank you, Professor Narsireddy Garu, who is a Vice Chairman of Gurukulam International. It is one of the wonderful international school, and a wonderful concept he brought into the education, working decades in some of the best colleges in Bangalore. Sir Narsireddy Garu, welcome, and we want to listen a few words from you also.
Thank you, Hari Garu, for your kind words. Sridharji was sharing. I joined just a while ago when Sridhar was sharing about the youngsters and the conflict, and then Amitji contributed, and Madam started with the appreciation, and that acceptance, that itself can create peace within and around. A lot of divergent ideas converging together on this platform this evening. It's a new beginning. Okay, happy Ugadi to each one of you. So that's the beginning. Ugadi, okay, is the beginning of all beautiful and all great things, including peace, contentment, happiness, joy. it's a complex word, okay? The peace has layers and layers and layers and layers and layers, like an onion. So it has multiple dimensions, okay? And 10 people on the platform can understand this 10 different ways. So these are perspectives being shared by each one of us. I missed, okay, the earlier part, earlier speakers. I realized what a valuable contribution that must have been, okay. Learned a lesson that I should be on time. So next time I'll ensure, okay, log in. I just want to, with Dr. Hari's permission, okay, just want to share a perspective on this subject. Maybe 2 minutes. Can I take 2 minutes?
Surely, surely, sir.
Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we have heard the phrase called peace of mind. All that I care for and need in my life is peace of mind. Peace of mind is an expression that all of us are familiar with, and we often use this phrase. And I have used it in a number of times until I came across this new dimension. It completely altered my perspective on this subject. Peace and mind are antithetical. They are opposed. While mind is there, peace cannot be. So mind is always in tension, friction, conflict. A mind being at rest, a still mind is something that we have not heard. Mind is always chanchal. No, it is always moving. Movement is mind. And you have all kinds of hundreds of thousands of thoughts, emotions, good, bad, ugly, all kinds of, you label them. So they exist all the time, 24/7. And it's in an autopilot mode. While that's on, it's impossible for us to achieve what we are talking about, peace at individual level. And then all individuals can arrive at peace, and the community, families, communities, countries, and the nations across it. It's a reality. And that's where our ancient rishis, they understood the nature of mind, nature of peace, and dhyanam is our access. Through dhyanam, by watching the mind and its vritti, chitta, nirodha, vritti, chitta. In the yogic terminology, the chitta is mind is full of all that. By observing, by witnessing, we can transcend the mind. When that happens, and peace has happened, it's an experience that one can experience while being in dhyanam, just by being. Because the mind is all about the becoming. I'm not good enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not this enough, that enough. That's what, 40+%, Sridharji was quoting, the think tank, the British. When they are leading that sort of a restless life, and they are trying to do the parenting, and so the competition again makes people either inferior or superior, and that divides people, look at the student community, college, university, everywhere, even the colleagues working in corporates. Either there is that inferiority complex or superiority complex. As long as these two exist, where is the potential being realized? So the access to all of us coming from this great land, India, Bharat, we have the wealth of spiritual wealth in the form of dhyanam, and there are hundreds and thousands forms of dhyanam meditations. They're all available, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and in Stay Fit magazine, of which I'm the chief editor. For the last 13 years, we've been publishing articles on meditation for busy people. This is the title. This is the column's name. Meditation for busy people. Anyone that you know ask, so nobody says I'm free. Everybody is busy, and this column is meant for them. And there are hundreds of varieties of meditations: traveling, listening, speaking, eating. So we have a general perception. You close your eyes and then so that's a meditation. That's one of the forms of meditation. So that way there are hundreds of varieties. Maybe it's time we start accessing this and introducing, rediscovering family level, institutional level, and there is a possibility of experiencing peace, which is always which is our very true nature. Not that we it's maybe a discovery, something. It's a rediscovery that we all can connect to. So thank you for giving this opportunity, Dr. Harikrishna Maranji, and all the panelists who come from divergent backgrounds, who bring in years of experience and bringing great perspectives on the subject. My pronouns to each one of you, and I extend invitation to each one of you to come and visit Gurukulam Global Residential School. It's close to Bangalore, near Hosur. It's a 20-acre campus. It's a CBSE school. It's a like mini Ooty. You would love the place. I love this place very much. So when you walk into the campus, what happens to you is peace happens. What will happen to you? Each one of us, peace happens. You'll start experiencing the joy within. Look around the nature, and the moment you look around that, the mind expands. When the mind expands, something within which has always been there, expresses itself, and you would unmissably feel its presence, and then so you're joyful for no reason.
Thank you.
We all have experienced,
Thank you for your invitation. I think
I'm
being
joyful for no reason. And this is one of the things that could happen to each one of you.
Yeah, from Avatar, I think Mr. Umashankar, we can invite once to Gurukulam Global School and see how we can able to collaborate with Avatar and Putri, both the wonderful organizations.
Absolutely.
And thanks to
Thank you, Mr.
Malini, my friend at LinkedIn, who joined this webinar. Thank you, Malini. And I think Dr. S.K. Prasad, I think we would like to hear from him also, a few lines about his views on this world peace. Yes, Dr. S.K. Prasad.
Thank you, Dr. Maram. It is indeed a great opportunity to be a part of this discussion. Actually, I joined a little later, but I could make out the essence of the the discussion. And I have a few points. Like I see peace. Of course, I'm not talking from any other perspective. People have pointed out also, I see that there is a hierarchy of peace. It starts at home, which is missing in sometimes because of our work culture. When we have these what is called families with only without elders living there. So this type of scenario, and then sometimes the way we rather behave at home maybe the origin when we talk about child in the home. And from there, like if we do that properly, it will go to school. Child will see a peaceful, like he doesn't carry any baggage, and then from there work. So in that way, what I feel is there is a need to nurture and curate peace at all these levels, that is home, then school, then workplace, and perhaps your theme also says we have to live in peace. So that means we should carry forward all through. And education is something which plays a very important role. I think Maram could take a lead also in this, maybe some initiatives at the schools and even colleges, or sometimes on road. I think road race is something which is we always see in Bangalore, where people start fighting for small things on the these are the things which are like they are baggages like thing. If we remove them through proper interventions, then there would be a life with peace. This is what I, of course, offhand I'm sharing a small response. So I thank profusely Maram for inviting me. And then maybe we'll have one more opportunity. I'm working in the domain of entrepreneurship development and nurturing one organization called GAME, Global Academy of Management and Entrepreneurship, where maybe we'll come to you with another, say, agenda. So thank you, Maram, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you for joining. Yes, Malini ji, you want to speak something?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving me the pleasant opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Yes, Sonali, I think you can go ahead. Before I think your vote of thanks, I would like to take this opportunity to wish each one of you for the new year. We are going to start from tomorrow, the Telugu New Year. We call as Ugadi. So this year it is Flavanama Savatsara. So the meaning of Flava is the Flava is going to take us from the dark and from the Vikruta. This is 2019 is Vikarinama Savatsara and 2020 is Sharvari. So Sharvari is dark and Vikari is the Vikruta. So from these 2 years, we had a very bad times. So I think the 2021, the Ugadi, which is going to start from tomorrow, the Flavanama Savatsara, is taking us to the new direction and new dimension. And I think we started in a very good auspicious day and the great time. So I wish each one of you the Ugadi greetings from all of us. Thank you. So go ahead, Sonali.
Thank you so much, sir. I think it's a good thing to look at this positively. I think we've had quite a bit of a trouble, in the recent past globally because of the pandemic, and definitely looking forward to a great new year. And speaking of New Year's, I think Bengali New Year is also on 15th of April. So we're all starting off together according to the calendar. Now, let's come to the vote of thanks. And as we are concluding today's event, let me go ahead and thank all our esteemed speakers over here. Thank you so much for giving us our time and, honoring us with your, grace, and of course, your information and the kind of knowledge you have shared is priceless. I'm sure all of us have learned and, exchanged our thoughts, and not just that, every speaker has had the opportunity not just speak about their, ventures, speak about their passion, but also get to interact with other speakers and get to learn from them. I think it's a lot of interchanging and peer-to-peer learning that we are doing over here. So thank you, everybody, for being with us over here. Thank you very much to all the audience members who have been with us throughout. People have dropped in, dropped out, but every person is important to us. And as you are adding to this initiative, you are just by merely being here, your presence is adding value, and we value you. Thank you so much for being with us. And of course, last but never the least, we would like to thank Chanchal ma'am and of course Dr. Hari for organizing this beautiful event. That not just the speakers spoke, but it was an open forum for everybody to share their thoughts, because I think, again, peace is something that is for all of us to, we have to be responsible, and we also hold the responsibility to do it. So not just speaking, but taking a lot of action, and we can see this energy in the room is commendable. So thank you, everybody, for being with us. And before we end today's wonderful event over here, I think I'll hand it over to Chanchal ma'am for the final thoughts. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, Sonali, how can we forget you? the most beautiful moderator, loving, affectionate, bringing all of us close to each other, close to the heart of our topics, and revolving each chair with lots of humor, amusement. So, thank you so much, Sonali, for being with us and taking this session, making it a wonderful one. This is not me and Sir Hari, but it's our event. We have got 18 collaborators with us, those who have held my hand at the time this thought came to me, that why only we write rest in peace or we talk good when the person leaves, but why don't we appreciate and be with all when we are living together, make it a creative one, so a peaceful society. And you can see 18 people, they came and they held my hand to make this a move, and we are on a move, on a journey. So thank you everyone, every speaker and every audience and my all collaborators. It's a joint effort. It's not me, but it's we that has made. And since your love has recalled me something that is related to love and peace, and I can proudly say that whenever that a thought of gaining power that overcomes with the love, or you can say love for power overcomes power of love, then people will know peace. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
you, everybody.
much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and looking forward meeting you soon physically.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you very much, and take care. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.